Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to see the 2-mark question and answer from the topic waveguides. Okay, so the fourth unit of the transmission lines and RF system and transmission lines and waveguide is a waveguide unit. So from this unit, what are the possible 2-mark question we are going to discuss. Okay, and related to this topic, so already I posted the problems. Okay, the 2-mark problem and the 13 mark because in part B problem is also already I posted as a 3-4 videos. Okay, so for parallel waveguide problem, then rectangular waveguide problem and circular waveguide problem already I posted. If you want to learn that problem, I will give link in the description box. You can refer it. Okay, so I solved the last 10-year Anna University questions as well as the various possible problems I solved in that video. Okay, so now we will discuss the 2-mark question. So first question is, what is waveguide? Okay, so waveguide, it is a hollow conducting metallic tube of uniform cross section is used for propagating electromagnetic wave. Okay, so in order to propagate the electromagnetic wave, we are taking one guided medium. That guided medium, one of the guided medium, it is called as a waveguide. Okay, so this waveguide is nothing but it is a hollow conducting metallic tube of uniform cross section. So this waveguide is of the shape rectangular, means that waveguide is called as rectangular waveguide. If the shape is of cylindrical, okay, circular in nature, means that waveguide is called as a circular waveguide. So this is the definition for the waveguide. Okay, and the waves that are guided along the surface of the tube is called a waveguide. Then the next one, what are guided waves? Okay, so what does mean by guided wave? So the electromagnetic wave that are propagating via this guided medium, it is called as a guided wave. Okay, so the electromagnetic waves that are guided along or over conducting or dielectric surfaces are called the guided wave. Okay, so the example for guided wave is the wave propagating via parallel wire, transmission line and waveguide. That waves are said to be the guided waves. Okay, then the next question, mention the applications of waveguide. So what are the applications of waveguide? So main thing, the waveguide is used to transmit the electromagnetic signals where we are using. Okay, so in which case we are using this waveguide means if the attenuation is very small. Okay, in which place, in which type of transmission we want attenuation is very small or negligible, at that case we are using the waveguide. So the first point, you see, the waveguides are employed for transmission of energy at a very high frequencies where the attenuation is very small. Okay, so where we need, okay, so in where we have to transmit the very high frequency in a minimum attenuation, we have to use this waveguide. Okay, in order to propagate the signal, we have to use this waveguide. And the second point, the waveguide is used in microwave transmission. So in order to transmit the microwave signal, okay, in the range of gigahertz signal, we have to use this waveguide. And the another one, the circular waveguide. So especially the circular waveguide, it is used as a attenuators and phase shifters. Okay, the circular waveguide, it will used as a attenuator and phase shifter. So where we want to use attenuator and phase shifter, we have to use the circular waveguide. So these are all the general application of waveguides. Okay. Then the next question, what is TE wave? Okay, or H wave. So TE wave means, so you know the transverse electric wave. TE means transverse electric wave. So the transverse electric wave means the wave in which the electric field strength E is entirely transverse in the propagation direction. Okay, so in the propagation direction, so we studied that TE mode and TM mode in rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide and parallel plane. So the TE wave, transverse electric wave, means the electric field strength along the propagation direction Z is 0, means that type of wave is called as a transverse electric wave. So transverse electric wave is a wave in which the electric field strength is entirely transverse. Okay, so if Ez is 0 but Hz is not 0, okay, the magnetic field component is available in the propagation direction. So you see, it has a magnetic field strength in the direction of propagation, but no component of electric field strength in the direction. E is at 0, but H is at is available, means that type of wave is called as a TE wave or H wave, magnetic wave. Okay, then the next question, what is TM wave or E wave? So transverse magnetic wave, so in reverse. So the transverse magnetic wave means a wave in which the magnetic field strength is entirely transverse. Okay, that is the Hz component. The magnetic field strength in the direction of propagation is 0. And there is a electric field strength E that is available, means that type of wave is called as transverse magnetic wave. Okay, so it has electric field strength in the direction of propagation, but no component of magnetic field strength in the same direction. So that type of wave is called as a TM wave. Okay, so shortly uh, saying this TE wave is nothing but for TE wave, the EZ component is 0, HZ component is available. In TM wave means the magnetic field component in the Z direction is 0, electric field component is available. Okay, so that is the difference between the TE and TM wave. So this TE and TM wave is an important 2-mark question. Okay, and the next one, what is dominant mode and give example. So this dominant mode, so it plays a very important role in the waveguides. Okay, so what is dominant mode means? So there are different modes are there in a waveguide. Either it is a rectangular waveguide, circular waveguide, the TE10, TE11, TM11. So there are so many modes are there. So which mode is said to be dominant mode means the lowest order mode. It is called as a dominant mode, or otherwise the mode having the lowest cutoff frequency is called as a dominant mode. Okay, this is also another definition. That is for that dominant mode only, the cutoff frequency, if you are measuring the cutoff frequency for that dominant mode, that cutoff frequency value is very lower. Okay, so the mode having the lowest cutoff frequency is called as dominant mode. Okay, and what are the examples for the dominant mode means? In rectangular waveguide, TE10 is a dominant mode. Similarly, TM11 is the dominant mode. So in TE wave, TE10 is the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide. TM11 is the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide in TM case. Okay. And the next question you see, give the dominant mode for TE, TM of rectangular waveguide. So for circular waveguide, this dominant mode is different. This TE10, TM11 is the dominant mode for rectangular waveguide. Okay. So in TE wave, the dominant mode in TE wave is TE10, where this 1 is said to be the M value and this 0 is the N value. And similarly, dominant mode in TM wave is TM11. Okay, so TE10 is a dominant mode in TE wave. TM11 is the dominant mode in TM mode. Okay, and the next question, what is cutoff frequency? So the cutoff frequency, it is a very important term in order to analyze the waveguide. Okay, so this cutoff frequency is giving, that is, what is the thing means? If the given frequency, okay, so if the wave propagating the frequency f means, if the input frequency is greater than cutoff frequency means at that time only that wave only is propagating via the waveguide. Okay, if the input wave is less than cutoff frequency means that wave is not allowed via the waveguide. So that is meaning of cutoff frequency. So the frequency at which the wave motion ceases is called the cutoff frequency of the waveguide. So up to cutoff frequency, the waveguide, the rectangular waveguide, it will not allow the signal. Once the input frequency is greater than cutoff frequency, that type of wave only the propagating via the waveguide. Okay, that is a cutoff frequency. And already we derived, that is we solved cutoff frequency for a different problem. Okay, so in all waveguide related problem, either it is a rectangular, circular or any waveguide, so the cutoff frequency is a first and foremost important step in the calculation. Okay, then the next one, what are dominant mode and degenerate mode in rectangular waveguide? Okay, so already you know the dominant mode. Dominant mode means the mode having the lowest cutoff frequency is called as dominant mode. Okay, so the mode having lowest cutoff frequency is called as a dominant mode. So in order to prove this, already we solved a problem. Okay, in that videos. Okay, so we derived for the same data, we derived for various modes, we derived the cutoff frequency. So out of that, we can say that the dominant mode is having the cutoff frequency value is very less when compared to the remaining mode. Okay. So example for the dominant mode is TE10 and TM11. Okay. Then what is degenerate mode? So degenerate mode is nothing but different modes having the same resonant frequency is called as degenerate mode. So for different modes are having the same resonant frequency, that type of modes are called as degenerate modes. Okay, so this is the between dominant mode and degenerate mode. Okay, and the next question, explain why TM01 and TM10 modes in rectangular waveguide do not exist. So this is a 9 university problem, 9 university question. Okay, 2 mark question. In rectangular waveguide, TM01, TM10 mode is not applicable. Okay, this do not exist. Why means in TM mode, okay, in rectangular waveguide, if you are substituting, so TM01 means M equal to 0, N equal to 1. In TM10 means M equal to 1, N equal to 0. Okay, so either M equal to 0 or N equal to 0, if you are substituting this and M and N value in our field equation. Okay, already we derived the field equation for the rectangular waveguide, you know, that EX, EY, EZ, that component. So in that component, if you are substituting either M equal to 0 or N equal to 0, the total field equations are vanish. Okay, so all field equations tends to be 0. Okay, so that's why the TM01 and TM10 mode in rectangular waveguide does not exist. Okay, so if M is 0, N is 1 or M is 1, N equal to 0, no fields are present in a rectangular waveguide. All other component EX, EY, EZ, okay, HX and the HY component, all fields are 0. No fields are present. All fields are having the value 0. That's why the TM01 and 10 mode do not exist. Okay, this is a very important question. And the next question, what is Evanescent mode? Okay, so what is Evanescent mode means when the operating frequency is lower than the cutoff frequency, the propagation constant becomes real. Okay, so already you know, if the wave frequency is less than the cutoff frequency means, so for that frequency, if you are measuring the propagation constant, the propagation constant becomes real. Okay, so real means what is the real part of the propagation constant? It is said to be the attenuation factor. Okay, so at the time, if the propagation constant becomes real means the wave cannot be propagated. Okay, the wave propagation does not occur. Okay, so this non-propagating mode is called as evanescent mode. Okay, so whenever, so for some mode, if the operating frequency is less than cutoff frequency means at the time the propagation does not takes place. So the propagation constant value becomes real. Okay, so that type of mode is called as evanescent mode. Then the next question, write down the expression for cutoff frequency and cutoff wavelength when the wave is propagated in between two parallel plates. Okay, so already this formula, cutoff frequency, cutoff wavelength, guide wavelength, phase velocity, group velocity, wave impedance, all formulas already I given in a separate video. Okay, so for a parallel plane, I given all formulas, important formulas to remember. Okay, comparison wise T mode, TM mode I given. For a circular waveguide already I given in the previous videos. Okay, so I will give link for that videos in the description box. You can refer it. Okay, so you go through the formula. So using the formula, you may attend so many 2-mark questions. Okay, and related to this, so there is an important 2-mark problem is also there. Okay, so that problems already I solved in that video. Okay, so you using that video, using the link, you just learn from that problem. Okay, so write down the expression for cutoff frequency, cutoff wavelength for two parallel plate. So the cutoff frequency formula is MC divided by 2A. Okay, where M is a mode number, C is a free space velocity, and A is nothing but a spacing between the two parallel plates. Okay, and the cutoff wavelength is, so the cutoff wavelength is nothing but it is a ratio of C divided by the cutoff frequency. Okay, so C by FC. So if you are substituting this FC formula here, we can get a cutoff wavelength is equal to 2A by M. Okay, so this 2 formula is for wave propagating in between the parallel plates. Okay, similarly, the next question, write down the expression for cutoff frequency and the cutoff wavelength when the wave is propagated in rectangular waveguide. Okay, so in rectangular waveguide, what is the cutoff frequency? Formula means the cutoff frequency FC equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of mu epsilon square root of m pi by a the squared plus n pi by b the squared. Okay, or in this two thing, you take pi squared outside. Then if you are taking pi out of this square root means that pi cancelled. Then this 1 divided by square root of mu epsilon, it is nothing but c. So the formula is reduced to c by 2 square root of m by a the squared plus n by b the squared. Okay, so this is the cutoff frequency for rectangular waveguide. Okay, this is the very important formula. So using this formula, you may get one important 2-mark problem. Okay, already I solved that problems in that video. I will give link in the description box. You can refer it. Okay, so in that video, I solved problem separately. And cutoff wavelength. The cutoff wavelength is nothing but C divided by FC. So C divided by this part, C cancel. So you can get the formula 2 by square root of m by a the squared plus n by b the squared. So this is the formula for the rectangular waveguide. Okay, this one is the cutoff frequency and the cutoff wavelength for parallel plates. Okay. Then the next question, what is the cutoff frequency and the cutoff wavelength of TE10 mode in rectangular waveguide? So TE10 is the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide. So for this dominant mode, what is the cutoff frequency and the cutoff wavelength formula? So TE10 means the m value equal to 1, n value equal to 0. So you substitute m and n value in the above equation. So you substitute m is 1, n is 0. So the second term 0. So this first term square root of 1 by a the whole square. So whole square square root cancel. Then we can get c divided by 2a. Okay, so for dominant mode, the cutoff frequency is c by 2a. Similarly, you just substitute m value, n value in this cutoff wavelength formula. You may get a cutoff wavelength is equal to 2a. Okay, so this formula is valid only for TE10 mode. Okay, since depending upon the m value, n value, the cutoff frequency and the cutoff wavelength, it will vary. Okay, then the next one, what is the cutoff frequency, cutoff wavelength for TM11 mode in a rectangular waveguide? Okay, similar to the previous question, you substitute, so TM11. So TM11 means m equal to 1, n equal to 1. So you substitute m equal to 1, n equal to 1 in the above equation. Okay, so in this general equation, m equal to 1, n equal to 1, what is the cutoff frequency? C by 2 square root of 1 by a the squared plus 1 by b the squared. Okay, so you see the cutoff frequency equal to c by 2 square root of 1 by a the whole square plus 1 by b the whole square. Similarly, cutoff wavelength is c by fc. So c divided by this formula, c cancel. So 2 by square root of 1 by a the square plus 1 by b the square. Okay, this is the cutoff wavelength formula. Okay, then the next question, write down the relation between guide wavelength and cutoff wavelength. Okay, so what is the relation between guide wavelength? Guide wavelength is lambda g. Cutoff wavelength means lambda c. So what is the relation between guide wavelength and cutoff wavelength mean? Lambda g equal to lambda by square root of 1 minus lambda by lambda c the whole square. This is the relation. Okay, so already you know the guide wavelength formula in terms of cutoff frequency. That is lambda by square root of 1 minus fc by f the whole square. So if you are converting this fc by f into lambda by lambda c, we can get the answer. Okay, this is the relation between guide wavelength and cutoff wavelength. Okay, then the next question, give the relation between phase velocity and group velocity. So phase velocity Vp, group velocity Vg. The product of phase velocity and group velocity, which is equal to square of the free space velocity c. So Vp Vg equal to c squared. Okay, so already this all relation is given in the separate table. Okay, so in that particular video, I explained What are the important formula? What is the cutoff frequency formula? What is the cutoff wavelength? Propagation constant, phase velocity, group velocity, guide wavelength, the impedance, all formulas I given in that video. Okay, so you must first watch that video. So for 3 wavegates, I given separate videos. So you just learn. So if you know the that formulas means you can solve, you can attend any 2-mark question as well as the related problem big question as well as the 2-mark question you can attend in a easy manner. Okay, then the next question, write the expression for wave impedance of TE and TM mode. So the wave impedance, okay, so this formula also you know for any type of waveguide. Okay, if it is a circular waveguide or cylindrical waveguide or a parallel plate, this wave impedance formula remains same. So the wave impedance in TE mode is eta by square root of 1 minus Fc by F the whole square. The wave impedance for TM mode is eta into square root of 1 minus Fc by F the whole square, where eta is said to be the intrinsic wave impedance. This value is 120 pi or 377 ohm. Okay, this eta value. And the next question, distinguish TM and TE wave. Okay, so already we defined TM wave, TE wave as a separate question. Similarly, you just compare. So for transverse, for TE wave means the electric field strength is entirely transverse. That is, what is the meaning? The EZ component is 0. Okay, here the magnetic field strength H is entirely transverse. Okay, then for TE wave, it has no Z component of EZ, that is EZ 0. Here there is no component of magnetic field strength. Then here electric field 0, but magnetic field there is available. So it has the Z component of magnetic field. Here it has the Z component of electric field. Okay, so comparison between TE and TM wave. Then the next question, define wave impedance. Okay, so what does it mean by wave impedance? Means the wave impedance is defined as it's a ratio of electric and magnetic field strength. Okay, so in circuit theory, the impedance Z is nothing but it's a ratio of voltage by current. Okay, similarly in electromagnetic theory, okay, in electromagnetic field theory, the wave impedance is nothing but it's a ratio of electric field strength divided by magnetic field strength. So E Z XY, wave impedance in XY direction is equal to EX divided by HY. Okay, in positive direction. In negative direction means minus of EX divided by HY. Okay, this is the definition for wave impedance. Then the next question, what is TEM wave or principal wave? So TEM mode. So there are 3 modes are there, TE, TM and TEM. So TE means the electric field strength is 0. TM mode means the magnetic field strength in the propagation direction is 0. Then TEM mode means transverse electric and magnetic wave. That means both electric field strength in propagation direction and magnetic field strength in propagation direction is 0, means that type of wave is called as TEM wave. Okay, so you know TEM wave is a special type of transverse magnetic wave, okay, in which the electric field strength along the direction of propagation is also 0. Already you know TM wave, first TM wave means HZ component 0. Okay, so from it is a special type of TM wave, so in which the electric field strength is also 0. So both EZ 0, HZ 0 means that type of wave is called as TM wave. Okay, and the transverse electromagnetic wave or wave in which both electric field and magnetic field strength are transverse. Okay, that is, but there has no component of EZ and HZ. So it is referred to as a principal waves. Okay, so this is also an important question. And what are the characteristics of TEM wave? Okay, so for this TEM wave, what are the special characteristics? Okay, so we'll discuss. First one is it is a special type of TM wave. Then it does not have either EZ and HZ component. Both EZ, HZ component is 0. Then the next one is its velocity is independent of frequency. Okay, so for TEM wave, the velocity is independent of frequency. For the remaining one, all velocity, group velocity, phase velocity, all formulas are related with the frequency. But for TEM wave, the velocity is independent of frequency. That velocity is also equal to the free space velocity. Okay, then its cutoff frequency is 0. for TEM wave, cutoff frequency is 0. So cutoff frequency 0 means it can allow all frequency signals. Okay, that is the meaning. It cutoff frequency is 0. These are all the characteristics of TEM wave. Okay, then the next one, what is wave impedance of TEM wave in a waveguide? Okay, so the TEM wave is available only in the parallel planes. Okay, in parallel plane only the TEM mode is available. In rectangular waveguide and the circular waveguide, TEM mode is not available. So for that TEM wave, what is the wave impedance? So the wave impedance is nothing but which is equal to the intrinsic impedance. Wave impedance of TEM wave becomes intrinsic impedance. For TE and TM already we discussed the impedance formula. The wave impedance for TE is eta by this. For TM mode, eta into this. Okay, this eta is said to be the intrinsic impedance. So for TEM mode, the wave impedance is equal to the intrinsic impedance. Okay, eta ZTM is equal to square root of mu by epsilon. It is nothing but eta. Okay, that value is 120 pi. Then the next question, why are rectangular waveguides preferred over circular waveguide? Okay, so usually when compared to circular waveguide, rectangular waveguides are preferred. Okay, what is the reason? Okay, the first thing is the rectangular waveguide is smaller in size when compared to circular waveguide of same operating frequency. Okay, so if we are designing one waveguide for some operating frequency 10 GHz means the rectangular waveguide size is smaller when compared to circular waveguide. Okay, that is the one important reason. And the second one, it does not maintain its polarization through the circular waveguide. Okay, and the third point, the difference between lowest frequency on dominant mode and the next mode of rectangular waveguide is higher than that of the circular waveguide. So if you are calculating the difference between the dominant mode cutoff frequency and the next mode cutoff frequency, that the difference is higher than that of the circular waveguide. So because of this reason, always we are preferring the rectangular waveguide when compared to circular waveguide. Okay, then the next thing, mention the dominant mode in rectangular and circular waveguide. Okay, in rectangular waveguide, the dominant mode is TE10. Okay, TE10 is the TE10 and TM11. Okay, TM11 is the dominant mode in rectangular waveguide. In circular waveguide, the dominant mode is TE11 and TM01. TM01 is the dominant mode in circular waveguide. Okay, you just compare it. Rectangular waveguide TE10, TM11. For circular waveguide, TE11 and TM01. Okay. Then the next question, write down the expression for cutoff frequency in circular waveguide. So for a rectangular waveguide and parallel plane, already we discussed the cutoff frequency formula. Similarly, what is the cutoff frequency in circular waveguide? Means the cutoff frequency FC equal to HA_NM_C by 2 pi A. Okay, where this HA_NM divided by A, it can be written as HNM. Okay, depending upon the mode, this value, the HA_NM value, it will vary. A is the radius of the circular waveguide. C is a free space velocity. Okay, so this is the cutoff frequency formula for the circular waveguide. Then the next one, so using this, so you see the 2 more problem. Calculate the cutoff frequency of copper tube with a 3 centimeter diameter filled with air in TE11 mode. Okay, so what is that? Which type of waveguide is this? 3 centimeter diameter is given. So it is a circular waveguide. Okay, and mode is TE11 mode. So the question is we have to calculate the cutoff frequency. So you see the diameter is 3 centimeter. So in order to find out the cutoff frequency, we want radius. Okay, A is nothing but radius. So you just find radius. Radius is nothing but half of the diameter. So 3 by 2, 1.5 centimeter. So this 1.5 centimeter you convert into meter, 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, then in order to solve this cutoff frequency, what is the formula? HA_NM_C by 2 pi A, where NM is nothing but depending upon the mode. So which mode? TE11 mode. So HA11. Okay, we have to use the constant HA11. So what is the HA11 value is 3.85. Okay. So already this HA value for 8 different mode already given in that table. Okay. In the important formulas to remember in the circular waveguide, in the table already I given. So from the table you just take down this formula answer 3.85. Okay. So substitute 3.85 into C. What is C? Free space velocity 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2 pi A. A is 1.5 centimeter. So if you are solving, you can get the answer 12.25 gigahertz. Okay. Then the next question, calculate the cutoff frequency of circular waveguide with a diameter 2.36 centimeter operating in dominant mode. Okay. So here the diameter is given 2.36 centimeter. So you convert into radius 1.18 centimeter. Then what is the mode? Dominant mode. So in circular waveguide, which one is the dominant mode? TE11 is the dominant mode. So you just note down the HA11 value. So HA11 for dominant mode is 3.85. Okay. Then you take down the formula, cutoff frequency formula for circular waveguide. HA11 C by 2 pi A. So 3.85 into 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2 pi into A. Radius is 1.18 centimeter. So you just calculate 15.58 gigahertz. Okay. Similar to this, okay, so for rectangular waveguide 2-mark problem and the parallel plane 2-mark problem already solved in that previous video. I will give link for that videos in the description box. You can refer it. Okay. So thanks for watching my channel and please subscribe my channel for more videos. If you want to learn all lecture videos related to this transmission lines and waveguides and transmission lines and RF system, okay, in my channel in the name of EC8651 transmission lines and RF system, one playlist is that. Okay, so in that playlist all lecture videos are available and another one playlist transmission lines and RF system MCQ, one playlist is there. In that the 1-mark question and 2-mark problems, okay, 2-mark problems solved is available in that MCQ video. Okay, so using that video you learn the remaining topics. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in the next video with one more thing.